And welcome to Think About It, where we have two primary goals. One, to get you to think about it, and two, to just make more sense than Nancy Pelosi, who thankfully appears to have gone into hiding. My question for you today is this. What happens when a nation promises itself into insolvency? To begin the answer, we hearken back to the glory days of one of those heroes of cartoon lore, Popeye, the Sailor Man. Huge forearms, massive strength, fueled by spinach, and just between you and me, I think he might have been on the juice. He also had a good friend by the name of Wimpy. Now, Wimpy was constantly in search of a hamburger today and promised to pay it back on Tuesday, but he never did. He just kept amassing hamburgers day after day after day. People kept giving them to him. They were enablers, and Wimpy just kept taking them, never to repay the debt. Fast forward to now. If I had the energy, the desire, and the time to invest any sort of production values in these videos, I would now be rolling video of the riots in the streets of Greece. What's happening over there is the people are now being faced with reality that everything they have begged for, all the people they have elected over the years, all of the promises, the entitlements, the freebies, they came with a tab, and the tab has now come due. So not only do they have to find some money to pay for all this stuff, they've got to cut some of the stuff, and thus the riots in the streets, because nobody likes to see their promises taken away. Let's bring that to this side of the world. We're not in the riot stage yet, but we are promising ourselves into insolvency. We could go back as to where it started, I think a few decades ago. We could even go back to the prior administration of George W. Bush, and many of you who watch this think that I worship at the feet of George W. I don't. Happen to think he's a decent man. Had some pretty bad judgment economically. And then we can bring it into the current reign of the Messiah, the one who cannot be questioned, who is quadrupling the debt day by day. I look at Greece, I look at us, and I wonder how long it will be until those scenes unfold on our streets. I hope it never happens. But you have to admit that as long as the entitlement is packaged well and presented well, it's pretty rare for the American people to turn it down. They worry about that whole bill later on, kind of like Wimpy with the burgers. So when does it end? Are we learning any lessons from Greece, or do we just look at that news footage and go, look at those morons rioting in the streets? Why don't they just lay back and take it like the rest of us? I think we might be a little closer to Greece than you think. So when I ask the question, is it possible for a nation to promise itself into insolvency, my answer is, it's all Greek to me. Think about it.